Here we are. We're down at the monkey cabin, the monkey sanctuary, out in the deep woods. Got a nice fire going. Metaphysics of fire. Someone's been translating ancient Pali now for nearly 25 years and ancient Greek for about a half as long as that. The ancient folks, for many countless reasons, the perfect analogy, the two most perfect analogies in all ancient cultures, especially in ancient India, was the wheel, and this one's not about the wheel, but the other one is the metaphysics of fire. I'm sure you could probably even think of a few more analogies than I can. And this is also, too, about consubstantiality. Like blue light through a blue filter is the consubstantiality of the filter and, say, the white sunlight. Of course, the white sunlight, of course, is composed of various other spectra due to hydrogen and helium, but we don't want to take it that far. Anyway, the consubstantiality of the fuel and the noumena, or the pneumatic principle, or the Atman, also to the ether. A fire, just like a human being or any living creature. And of course, life itself is the consubstantiality of matter and spirit. And a fire breathes, just like a human being. It gives off heat. It requires perpetual attention, which is undeniable. And it consumes. And it actually has a cycle. If you build one fire, you set it ablaze, it builds and builds, and it reaches a crescendo, and then it slowly fades, and it turns to white embers, and then to red embers. And then it gives up the ghost. You'll actually see, the flames flickering up skywards, and the consubstantiality of matter, being the fuel, and the spirit, of course, are parted. Same thing with a radio. This is why I always laugh when people say that, it's very humorous. People say, I don't believe in ghosts. And of course, anything that follows after the words, I believe, is always nonsense. 100% of the time, it's just nonsense. It's like, well, you don't believe in signals if you smash the radio, right? Well, that's not what I said. Well, that's exactly what you said. Life is a consubstantiality of the animus, or the spiritus sancta, or the ancient Pali Atan, which, by the way, is the exact same term in ancient Egyptian. Did you know the 5 most important words in ancient Pali are the exact same terms in ancient Egyptian? Or in the Sanskrit Atman, we actually have the exact same term in English. The root of atmosphere, or atmospheric, referring to the blowing of the winds. It's not meant literally the air. A lot of people teach that you should focus on your breathing, and that's a complete, disgusting, twisting upside down and backwards of the original, which talks about the pneumatic principle of the Atman. The root Atman literally means the pneumatic principle, but not literal air, so that notion of breath meditation and other nonsense, while it is calming, there's a lot of things that are calming. You could get a lobotomy and, set you in a diaper and watch the Cartoon Network for the rest of your life in a care facility. You'll be perfectly calm. You'll be so calm, you'll be limp like a piece of cooked spaghetti. Calming is one thing. Wisdom and transcendence is another. But anyway, the metaphysics of fire, and there's so many layers of perfect analogies. When human beings die, they stop giving off heat. When a fire dies, it cools down. And just as a human cycle from birth, middle age, old age, and death, it builds and crescendo from ignition, which is the spark of life, where we actually have the consubstantiality of matter and spirit, to the building of the fire, then it reaches an apex point, and then it declines as the fuel is burnt up. And it does always require constant attention. And it is the consubstantiality of the Agni, or fire, and the fuel, which is to be burned. This is the reason why in ancient India they burned dead bodies down by the river Ganges. Because when the principle of life has left it, then the body is just like a hunk of firewood. You know, there's nothing there other than a form. This log, once it's burned, depends on how it burns, it will maintain its form. Not always. You can't take the analogy too far. But it'll maintain its form, but the fuel is all gone out of it. You know, it can't burn anymore. It's just a block of carbon. And of course, you can see the fire rising up, in this case, through the chimney pipe, where the spirit does eventually leave. And it does give off heat, and it does give warmth, and it cooks your food, and it keeps you alive. So it's like a mutual relationship. When you feed the fire, it feeds you. It keeps you warm, cooks your food, does a lot of things, of course. Protects you, because the light scares animals away. Does a lot of stuff, of course. So this is the fundamental principle of the metaphysics of fire. And that's the most primordial symbol of metaphysics. The other one is the wheel. But this video is not about the wheel. I've, by the way, published a lot of neat little articles on the wheel, including Dr. A.K. Kumaraswamy's one. But, yeah. Got a nice fire going up the chimney there. Yeah. So, I need to get, speaking of the fire, I'm all out of firewood. I need to go out to my bin and get some more firewood. Oh, goodness. Thanks for watching. Coming to you this November the 1st, 2020 at the Monkey Sanctuary.